Welcome. This is Joshua Benoist in Autodesk Product Support, and this is video 16 in our series where we're talking about how to use Parametric Part Builder to make parametric multi-view parts. Here's the problem statement. Pause the video if you need to read that. Let's move on. Okay, so we just made length A1 visible. Length A2 is a calculation, A3 is a calc, 4, 5. So let's look at 5 and 6. Length A6, I think we want that to be a constant. Length A5 should not be a constant. In fact, this length A5 is the offset distance from the side to the center of this connector. So we want that to be visible. We also don't want that to be a constant. We want that to be a list. Make it visible. Length A6, we want it to be a constant. Probably the only one that we want to be a constant. Those are calculations. So the next constant is length A10, 11. Let's go find out what those are. So I'm guessing those are probably on one of these other planes. Which is kind of hard to see, so how about we isolate the middle plane, or hide it. Okay. So length A10, okay, so length A10 is the center, center to center distance that way. So we want 10 and 11 to be visible. Those won't be constants. But we do want them to be visible. Now, I imagine that most of these dimensions here, so let's talk about when to use a list and when to use a table. So our connectors, those connector sizes, usually on a manufacturer's cut sheet, you have a very specific connection dimension and per unit size or per cabinet size. So your cabinet dimensions are set in stone and your connectors dimensions are set in stone. So really we may not want these to be lists per se as much as a table. So we're going to have a table of values. So per cabinet size, you'll have a table of all these dimensions. And as you change your cabinet size, your dimensions will expand and contract and be true to the manufacturer's cut sheet. An example of where our connector, we might want to leave it as a list, let's talk about a VAV box. So the inlet to a VAV box is round, and you might have the same cabinet size and specify different, 6-inch connection, 8-inch connection, so on. That does change, whereas the cabinet size does not. That's where we would leave this as a list. So the more I'm thinking about this, we want to change these to tables, not lists, for this specific part. If this were a VAV box, we might actually leave it as a list. And the cabinet dimensions would be a table on a VAV box. So length A14 and 15. What are these guys? So that was the overall cabinet body. Okay. '14 and 15 we want